City of Milton Common Council meeting on Tuesday, October 7th, 2014 at 7:01 p.m. At this time, I'll ask for confirmation of the appropriate meeting notice.
The agenda was posted at Dave's Ace Hardware, Piggly Wiggly, and the Shaw Municipal, actually, at the new building, this one, 710 South Janesville Street.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to welcome any citizens of the city and address any questions or concerns not on tonight's agenda. It's very hot.
How's this? Testing? Okay. My name's Lucy Qualla. I do need to do address. 138 East Pineview Court, Edgerton, Town of Fulton, School District of Milton. Out in the middle. So everybody probably knows why we're all here. I just wanted to ask, in light of the DOT meeting on the 18th of September, with Bill Watson and several members of the council, has any annexation paperwork been received?
Is that your only question?
No, I have more.
Go ahead.
Okay. And also, has anyone spoken with or met with Bill Watson or any of his other people involved in this issue with Industrial Park and interchange for pre-annexation meeting that he referred to at the DOT meeting on the 18th? Since you guys were at that meeting on your September 2nd meeting, where you made a motion to table any resources being used further for this issue, just curious where the annexation paperwork is.
Is that okay?
That's
So in answer to your questions, no, there has not been an annexation petition filed at this time.
Okay.
And two, there has been no discussions that I've had with Mr. Watson since that meeting. That's actually the last time I spoke with him, was at that meeting that many of the town boards was at as well, about annexation or any other issue. I have not spoken to Mr. Watson since that date.
Okay. And I know there was a comment made being short-staffed on the council as far as having any kind of committee that was suggested or any further meetings. On your agenda, you said you may be making a decision on that soon. Would that bring your staff to full staff then? And then would any meetings be scheduled as soon as that happens? Or are you waiting for Watson?
Sure. Well, two answers to that. This evening, we hope that we will narrow down to a final clerk candidate, which would get our city hall staff up to full strength, which is ideal for a number of reasons for the citizens of the city. Separate from that, though, any discussion that we would have on this project would be contingent on us having something, as we've said for months, to act on. When the DOT meeting was scheduled, we found out about it very late in the process, and we felt that it was important for us to understand what was said at that meeting, and that's why our city administrator and some of our council members attended that meeting. But that was a DOT meeting, a regularly scheduled meeting that has been occurring monthly since early this year. So the full staffing certainly doesn't indicate that anything will swing into motion. The two issues are separate.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to approval of the consent agenda. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 4 is new business. Item A is discussion and possible action regarding the municipal court forfeiture. Chief?
This is the forfeiture set by, recommended forfeiture amount set by Judge Kepler for the fraud on gas station, gas drive-off ordinance. And she has recommended that the total forfeiture amount would be $502. And she feels that would be a fair amount for someone that was guilty of this offense.
Discussion from the council?
I'll make a motion to accept that amount as a forfeiture.
Second.
This is an ordinance, correct? With the 3 readings?
Yes. It's an ordinance then, so? No.
No, this isn't, or you've created the ordinance, it's just by statute, the judge needs to establish technically it's a bond schedule. The ordinance is set the forfeiture range. And then
Okay.
the judge needs to set the bond schedule for that. So this is what the judge is suggesting here for the bond schedule. And so now it's just up to the council to approve or disapprove the bond schedule.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second to approve the bond schedule. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item B is discussion and action on equalized value and assessed property values. Dan?
Yeah, as many of you are probably aware, back in August when the state released its equalized values for the city, there was a large drop in the commercial value of the city. And myself and the mayor and a few others felt like that was done unfairly. So we had a conversation with the Department of Revenue, and they kind of told us where we needed to look in the state statutes to appeal it if we wanted to. And so we looked into that, talked with our city assessor, Accurate Appraisal, to compile some of the mathematical pieces that would be required in any kind of submission. And unfortunately, the mathematical piece did not help the city's position very much. So I felt, in the interest of utilizing my time and other staff time, it probably made more sense to not pursue a potential losing cause at this point. Unfortunately.
Questions for Dan?
Dan, I was just wondering, were you able to look back at our contract that we have with them for the inspection schedules?
Yes, it's a 6-year contract, and they inspect 1/3 of the properties every other year. And it was 2011, 2013, and 2015. So in theory, at the end of next year, they'll have physically inspected every property within the last 5 years in the city. And hopefully with that, we'll have a good fair market value and assessed value in the city. And I'm going to be working with Lee and his staff at Accurate Appraisal to make sure that all the properties in this city are fairly assessed. Not too high, not too low, but right where they're supposed to be.
I'm wondering if we maybe could start looking to see if there are any other appraisal companies out there that we might want to be looking at in the meantime.
It's definitely a viable option. I know Accurate is one of the more lower cost ones, so there might be some budgetary impact. I don't know what exactly that would look like, and I'd have to review the contract to see if there's a way to break it, since we are in the middle of a 6-year contract, and how extracting data from them and all that kind of stuff. But that's definitely something. Is that something you want to possibly pursue for next year? Or we would.
I remember when we switched the way we were doing valuation. I was new in the council. Alderman Adams was here. And we really were in the midst of the economic calamity, and we really were looking at cost savings at that point. I think with economic conditions stabilizing in the city, it makes sense now to look at how we're doing those valuations. Prior to that, we had done, I believe, 1/3 of the city every year, so twice as much. I believe that's correct, and we should probably look at that. For this specific issue, I think the thing that made it most compelling not to pursue the appeal at this point is that we don't anticipate a major borrowing issue in 2015. We're in debt reduction mode here in 2015, and so the equalized value loss isn't going to be particularly impactful to us in 2015. But we do want to work much more closely, and Dan will certainly do that, with our assessor to ensure that our numbers are more reflective of what we think the true economic situation is. If you'd like, we can start to look at what other options are for that service.
I'd like to do that.
We'll have staff do some research on that.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, there's no action required on that agenda item tonight. Item C is discussion and action to appoint a City of Milton representative to the Joint Review Board. Administrator Hulick.
As the councils may be aware, the Joint Board of Review, which is the governing body which oversees all tax increment financing district decisions in regards to project plan creations and project plan amendments, will be meeting next week, Wednesday, to discuss a TID amendment to TIF District Number 6. As part of that process, each overlying taxing jurisdiction needs to appoint a representative to serve on that board. So the school district, VOTAC, county, and the city of Milton would need to have a representative on that board. So the item before you this evening is to ask the council to appoint a representative from the city of Milton to serve in that capacity, and that could be a member of the council or the mayor. Obviously, I will be engaged in that meeting, but we need somebody who represents the taxing body, which would be an elected official in this case from the city of Milton. So that's the direction that we're looking for from the council as to who would serve on that capacity to represent the city of Milton's taxing jurisdiction.
I make a motion to nominate Teresa Roosh for that position.
I'll be out of town.
You better talk next week.
Yeah, I apologize. Otherwise, I'd be happy to.
I'll withdraw that then. Teresa's gonna be out of town.
Well done. What day is it?
Wednesday. The Joint Board of Review will meet next week, Wednesday at 5 o'clock, right before the CDA. Is that correct, Inga?
I believe so.
Yeah, the 15th at 5.
I was planning on going to the municipal conference, but I could probably get back.
I am not able to make that meeting. Alderperson Clark is able to make that meeting. Is there anyone else who?
And where is it located?
Here.
Here. Here is good.
Yeah.
I would be interested.
Okay.
I'm
Would you prefer?
very frustrated at the part where they're always scheduled elsewhere.
We just need a motion to make an appointment.
To nominate Nancy Lauder to be the representative to the board.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Alderperson Lauder to the Joint Review Board. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item D is discussion and action on recommendation for the location of a new fire station. Administrator Hulick.
Thank you. 2 weeks ago at the Joint Fire Commission, there was a discussion at the Joint Fire Commission level about the potential location or preferred location of a new fire station. That discussion centered around the current location on Madison Avenue, and the Joint Fire Commission designated that to be the preferred location for the fire station. At that time, the council members who represent the Fire Commission asked if this item could be placed on the agenda for this evening for discussion from the council's perspective, from the city's perspective, as to whether that location makes sense or if there are other locations that make sense for the fire station. If Councilmember Adams has any additional input, being one of the representatives on that committee, certainly look for your input as well. But we're looking for general discussion on that item, and if there's any concerns with that location, or if there are any other locations as well that maybe warrant some research.
The only concern that I've heard was that it doesn't conform with our long-range plan for that area, but on the other side of the coin is any other area is gonna have to add land acquisition costs, which are gonna be huge. And Lauren and his folks have looked at locations all over the city and outside on the edge of the city. And the current location appears to be the best service to them and to the city. And I think it's in our best interest to put on the back burner long-range plans that may benefit the city, may not, for that area. That's not a good area for development with the large ravine right behind it. I think we need to consider approving that as, from the city standpoint, as the new fire department location.
And also, our comprehensive plan is gonna be re-reviewed. I mean, we already know that we need to do that, so, I mean, anything that we decide to do in that downtown area, we can work around the fire station being in that location. I think it's a pretty general consensus of the fire department and the fire commission that we go with this spot. So if you're looking for a motion, I would make that motion that we approve the current Public Works building and fire station location as the future development for our new fire station.
We have a motion and a second to approve the existing location of the fire department as the preferred location for a new fire department development in the future. Any further discussion?
I think that it's excellent to finally give it a resting point, because there has been so much discussion and no decision that I, for the sake of decision, think it's a wonderful decision.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E is discussion and action on accepting a donation from Lonnie Brown.
Lonnie Brown, she's a local resident, and she wants to donate a piece of artwork to South Goodrich Park near the Goodrich Square splash pad, and that would be in memory of her husband, Wally Brown, who passed away, I think a little over a year ago now. It would be a statue of an 8-foot flower with a 6-foot diameter flower on top and a large bee. Then there'd be some welded grasses around it, and this would be created by John Dorn. He's a local artist.
Discussion from the council?
Yeah, I just want to say, our Parks and Rec Committee met there at the spot that we're going to locate it by the splash park. And it opens up, if we put the statue there, it opens up a potential where we could add more art to that area. And I think we could do a lot of things with that. So I'm asking the council, I think it'd be a good thing to accept the donation and to do this, because it can lead to more things down the road on both ends of town.
And I also just want to add to that, with this artwork, we are looking at taking down a tree. But the tree needs to come down, so. It's a
And
beautiful
Was there
statue.
any discussion about changing the splash pad sign?
The splash pad sign actually hasn't been approved by Plan Commission.
That it is in limbo, so I'm asking how far into limbo it is.
That's a different issue. That has nothing to do with this piece of art. This piece of
Okay.
art will oversee this. You won't notice
Can
the
you put it in
splash
front of
park
it?
sign with the piece of art.
That discussion, I'm sure, is forthcoming again. But tonight, the order of business is to accept a donation of this artwork.
I'll make a motion that we accept the donation in honor and memory of Wally Brown.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let me get my proclamation here. All right. Next order of business is the Halloween proclamation. So if you're wondering when we're handing out free candy at all the homes in Milton, pay close attention. Whereas the city of Milton wishes a safe and festive Halloween celebration for its citizens and encourages participation in the gaiety of this holiday by both young and old, and whereas miniature ghosts, goblins, witches, and other mysterious creatures emerge each year on October 31st, and whereas they ring doorbells of their neighborhood and friends to extort goodies, and whereas the safety of these small creatures is assured by an accompanying adult and is a source of amusement and good cheer for both the very young and older people whom they visit and entertain. Whereas I, Brett Frazier, Mayor of the City of Milton, proclaim Friday, October 31st, 2014, Halloween in the City of Milton, Therefore, let it be known that Friday, October 31st, 2014 shall be known as Halloween Trick or Treat Day, and the celebration will be observed between the hours of 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Next meeting. Is that what our next item is? Next meeting is October 21st, 2014. Any older persons reports?
I would just like to remind everyone that this coming Saturday, we will be having our annual prairie seed collection. Crossridge Park has a very strong development of a prairie out there, and that is mostly due to the fact that we have this annual event. It's something, if you have not done it before, you should come out and try it. It's supposed to be very nice on Saturday. We're going to start out at We're going to start out at Rotary Gardens, and that'll be at 9 o'clock with the Rock County Conservationists. Dave Benlin is going to be giving us all of our educational information and helping everybody with their planning their own little prairies. And then we will move to Crossridge Park at 10:30, and it pretty much goes as far as you want to go throughout the day. It's suggested that you bring gloves and, of course, dress appropriately. It could be very breezy. There could be little critters in the fields, and it's just a very fun thing. And if you haven't done it before, you should try it.
Thank you. Any other alderpersons reports? Okay, I just have one thing. This Sunday, I'll be attending the Eagle Scout ceremony of a student at our high school, Connor Martin. He sent me his mom sent me a nice note talking about how hard he's worked to achieve Eagle Scout, and I'll be sending a nice letter on behalf of the city congratulating him on that achievement. The ceremony is this Sunday, and there will be a number of people there. If any council members are interested in the details of that, I can certainly share them with you. But I wanted to point out that in this position of mayor, you get an opportunity to hear about so many wonderful things that so many people do in our community. And Connor Martin has worked for the last 5 years to achieve his Eagle Scout rank. I couldn't even make it past the knot tying portion of Cub Scouts. He has completed an amazing project. I saw it the other day. It's a Baltic birch coat closet for his church. He worked for 90 hours over 9 months to complete it. He's a member of our boys swim team and our tennis team, and just a really neat kid. So congratulations to Connor Martin, and I'm looking forward to shaking his hand and congratulating him in person on Sunday. Staff reports. City Administrator.
Thank you. Today actually marks the start of my 4th week in the position, and so far everything is going just swimming. We've had no issues. No. No, I really do. The main thing that I want to point out to the folks in the audience and to the council here is how excellent of a staff and a work group the city of Milton has. During my transition here, came in at a time when there was a lot of new faces to the organization, including myself. And the group that is here with us tonight, and the folks that are here all day during the day, and out at the fire department and out at the DPW and in the police department, great group of people that have made my transition very, very welcoming and very, very effective in a short time to hit the ground running. So I appreciate that, and the folks, the city of Milton, community and residents should be very proud of the group that we have working here, and it's been great. During these first 3 weeks, one of the main issues that we've been working through is the budget process, which is, as I've said before, is on pace. With the transition, we kind of had to pick the ball up halfway down the field and keep it moving, and we've done a great job with that. And next week, Tuesday, the 14th, is our first budget workshop, and I look forward to working with the council through that process. And then we'll have another workshop on the 16th. So the budget has been one of the top priorities of the organization, and that's been going very well. Another issue that I'd like to kind of update folks on is the capital improvement program. We had 2 excellent discussions today about the capital improvement program, and that project is again, we picked the ball up on that and are running down the field with that as well, and hope to have that pretty much solidified by the end of this year, so we can start using that as a document to help with the budget processes in future years, as opposed to having that kind of drive the budget. We want to use that plan in order to make, good decisions down the line. We talked about one of the major capital issues that's facing the city of Milton coming up in the future years in the fire station, but we have a number of other issues as well, and we want to make sure that we put those in the right spot and make sure we have the right information available to make good decisions for those big projects that Milton will face. And that capital improvement program will be an excellent tool in order to make those sound decisions. So those are some of the main things that we've been working on, and very happy with the progress that we made in the short time. I don't want to steal all of Dan's thunder since he's next, but we'll let him deliver the bad news.
Right. Finance Director.
As Al mentioned, we'll be hopefully printing budget books this week, and it's my understanding that last year most of them were electronic, so if any of you would like paper copies, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just plan on sending them out electronically. But I know for making notes and stuff on something of this importance, paper might be a better way to go in a 3-ring binder. So just let me know. That's all I got.
Director of Public Works.
Just about three short items. This week is Sludge Week down at the treatment plant, so I just always like to warn you if you notice. I know it's a big event every year, but there'll be more odors than usual down there this week. So that's what it's from. It's nothing you can do about it. Leaf collection started this week. Highway 26, they're going to pour the concrete tomorrow on the southbound lane, and that's going to set for a few days, and then hopefully next week they'll pour the northbound lane. So the in-town part for the old 26 hopefully is done by next Friday. Then they're going to repave High Street as soon as they get that done. So.
Great. Okay, police.
We continue to investigate the robbery that occurred at Junction Pub Friday night, early Saturday morning. As usual, getting a lot of tips from citizens, which is usually the way it happens, and I'm very confident that we will solve this and arrest someone for doing that. That's it.
Thank you. Library. Fire Department.
Mainly the announcement is that you all can come and enjoy a pancake breakfast Sunday morning. Starts at 7 and will end at noon. You are more than welcome to stop and ride the fire truck if that really is what you want to do. And the kids will have a couple of entertaining things to do with using a fire hose, so hopefully you bring your kids and they should have a good time with that. Or you can do it too if you feel you want to do it. So, other than that, Fire Prevention Week, and we've got many tours scheduled for the station, many school visits scheduled. They spent the whole day down at the Survival Live House on Monday, and we'll be doing so again next Monday to get all the kids through there. And so we've got a lot of time invested that people are doing pretty much for free. So it's a huge investment of their time to get this done.
Thank you very much. Agenda item 6, President Verwink.
Consideration of a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute Section 19.85 1E, or 1, I think that's C. My eyes play tricks on me. Considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluations data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, reasons city clerk, deputy treasurer interviews.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.